Hi everyone, it's Ardith. Thanks for stopping by today. I'm excited because today I'm part of a video hop to celebrate the fact that I reached 5,000 YouTube subscribers recently. Two of my friends, Katya and Jenny, also recently reached 5,000 subscribers, and we thought it would be fun to co-host a party to celebrate. We have over 25 videos for you to watch made by some of our friends, and we also have 6 fabulous sponsors with prizes. Winners will be chosen from comments along the hop, so the more you hop and comment, the better your chance of winning. Cards I make are often made to show off new product for one company, so I thought it would be fun to try and make a card that had all 6 of our sponsors on it. I started with the wide striped stencil from Pretty Pink Posh and a panel of ebony cardstock. To create some subtle texture and shine on my background, I used Wow embossing ink and I pressed it all over the panel through the stencil. I gave it some really good pressure to try and get even coverage all over the panel. I used some clear embossing powder from Wow and I poured it over the top before heating it with my heat gun until it was melted and smooth and shiny. I like to put the piece I'm heating into this shoebox lid that I've lined with tinfoil. This means I don't have to try and hold on to the edges, which is especially useful when I'm embossing over the whole panel and I need to get the heat gun right up to the edges. Next, I'm going to use a hack that I actually learned from one of Katya's recent videos. This helps cut down the work when you want to stack up die cuts. All you have to do is glue 2 pieces of cardstock together before you die cut them. These are 80-pound pieces of cardstock, and I didn't use my metal shim, but I did run it through my Gemini Junior twice with this big Essentials by Ellen Yeh die. The pressure from the die cutting machine really makes sure that the letters are stuck together, and you can see that the letters pop out cleanly and easily, even though they don't just fall out. So once I had done this twice, I glued them together and I had a nice solid 4-layer stacked Yeh letters. These letters are big and solid, since they're already 2 layers together, and it's easy to glue them together. The hardest bit was actually that little dot for the exclamation mark. It's small and almost square with no angles to hold on to, so it took me a minute to get it lined up properly. Next, I used the horizontal pinstripes cover plate from a Jillian Vance design, and I cut that from black cardstock. I'm going to do some inlaying, so I cut a piece of copy paper just slightly smaller than the cover plate die cut, and I coated it in adhesive before gluing it to the back of the black die cut. Even just in black and white, this has a cool look, but I have a slightly different plan. I cut it again from white cardstock, and this time I'm interested in the narrow strips that are produced. You can see how they all just fell out of that die. I want to create a rainbow effect, so I'm going to use my Catherine Pooler inks to color these stripes. I thought for a minute or two about how to best do this, and I finally decided that this die release tool, which has a kind of a paddle end, could be a good help. I placed the strip onto the party dress ink pad, and the first time I did it, I ran the tool along the strip to get it pressed into the ink pad. And as I went on, I found it easier to hold on to one end of the strip, press the tool down onto it on the ink pad, and then pull the strip out like this. Then I had to turn it around to get the other end inked as well. I worked my way through my rainbow of Tiki Torch, Limoncello, Lime Ricky, Aquatini, and Flirty Fuchsia. I learned that it's very important to clean the tool and my hands between each color change. I did 3 strips of each color, and I left a few white to add some brightness to the panel. Then it was time to put them into the outline. Surprisingly, these narrow strips were actually pretty easy to work with. I just seated one end in and then worked my way along, pressing each strip down into the panel so it was touching the glue on the back or behind it. I worked in rainbow order and I inserted a white strip every 2 or 3 lines. I love this look. It's dramatic and happy, and if you're wondering where I got my inspiration from, go turn on Netflix and then you'll understand. I admit I've been watching a little more TV than normal lately. So here's how the card's coming along. Did you notice that I'm already up to 5 sponsors? Wow, Pretty Pink Posh, Ellen Hudson, a Jillian Vance design, and Catherine Pooler. Birch Press is next, and I'm going to use just that top layer of the Grace layering set. The middle circle has a fun petal design that I can incorporate into my card. And I'm really putting Katya's double layer hack to the test with this intricate die. I cut a piece of the glued together panel I had used previously to the size of the center circle, and then I used some purple tape to stick it in place so it wouldn't move in my Gemini Junior. Now this time I did use my metal shim, and I ran it through twice, but I got the same good results from this intricate die as I did from those big letters I did earlier. I don't think I would try this with cardstock that's heavier than 80-pound Neenah, but once you get 4 of those together, it's solid. In fact, I didn't glue these petals together to double them up. 2 layers was thick enough for what I wanted. But first, I colored the petals with 5 of the 6 inks I had used previously. Again, I used the die release tool, this time with the pokey end, to press each petal down into the ink pad and then press down on one edge so I could pick up the other edge when it was ready. And once again, I made sure to clean that tool and my fingers each time I changed colors. Once they were dry, I used the outline part of the die cut from a previous project for placement of the petals. I lined the frame up so the center petal was along the center line from my work surface grid, and then I held it in place with some purple tape. I put some liquid adhesive in each hole, and then I carefully put the petals in their spots. They were a tight fit, I think because they're layered up and the frame wasn't, so I was very careful as I removed that frame and left the petals as bright pops of color on that black background. Then I flipped the panel around and I did it again. Now when it came time to assemble the card, you'll see that I didn't add the exclamation mark. Yes, I gave up punctuation for symmetry in my design. I think it looks better like this, and those bold letters still have a happy exclamatory feel. To finish the card, I trimmed the panel down to a square, and I put it on a white card base. I added some glossy black Pretty Pink Posh jewels for a little extra sparkle. Now it's time for you to use the link in the description below to hop to the next video. I know you'll enjoy the projects that everyone's put together for you, and don't forget to comment for your chance to win. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.